The last video was all of 2005 and this is going to be all about the 2006 ones, starting with this Beamer. It's a E39 540 supercharged, and you know what's funny about it? I did this feature, Uber Tuning the guy was called. See that intercooler? It's not even connected, it's fake. There's boost pipes, but literally it's non-intercooled. The centrifugal supercharger, straight out the compressor, straight into the inlet. Front mount is fake. But honestly, even though we've blatantly shown that, I don't think a single person even ever contacted us. Nobody realised, you know. Cool car, but yeah, the intercooler was fake. You can see where the boost pipe goes. It's non-intercooled. Pretty funky posh car. But yeah, typical sort of 2005, 2006 spec of things being crazy just to be crazy. Fucking keyboard, computer keyboard and mouse in the steering wheel. I don't even remember fucking why, but because pimp my ride, innit? Fucking me in February 2006 in my S13. That cost me 600 quid back then, with Cusco coilovers and shit like that. Back even now, that'd be a whole lot more money. It was a piece of shit, don't get me wrong, but S13 money these days is not 600 quid like that cost. This was my exhaust that I bought for my R32 Skyline. It was a Keith Cower's drag car. It was like 4 or 5 inch. It was a fucking massive drag R32 drag exhaust. It was amazing. And also that adjustable torque split controller for the GTR 4-wheel drive. Yeah, this has always been one of my favourite cars ever since I first saw it. Riffer's Pulsar GTR. It was fast, very fucking fast. I think it was about 450 brake back then. But obviously these things don't weigh much, so it was fucking fast. Again, 60 to 100 time, especially is the telltale. Yeah, 3.2 to 60, which is rapid. But 6.8 to 100, so 3.2 and 6.8 is what, about 3.5 seconds, 60 to 100, so mental fast. Like, and in a little Pulsar, that looked fucking amazing. It was a cool car as well, as you can tell. Obviously the SR20 with the quad throttles. It had a TD06 turbo on it, if I remember right. But yeah, it was fucking awesome, this car was. Like, I remember in the flesh when we timed it, it looked so fast as well. It wasn't just the fact it was fast. You see it fucking come off the line, it's like, Jesus Christ, it's amazing. Proper car. Oh, fucking hell. These are famous for the old school drifting people. Drift mids. They were basically a bunch of cruisers who decided to cash in on the drifting thing, which was just exploding, and managed to blag loads of free stuff off companies, making out they're this big drift team, even though only one of them could even drift all right, if I remember right. And they basically cashed in, got all this free stuff, did a few fucking shit skids and burnouts, and then sold it all and made a load of money and disappeared. Dodgy as fuck. And it's like, yeah, but yeah, they're all the cars were pale blue S13s that kind of look shit, but they were, if you ask anybody who was around drifting back then, they would remember these people. Yeah, really didn't want to do this feature. I actually did this, but yeah, it was not a good plan. It was fucking awful. The only good thing about this was, because they're dodgy as fuck, they managed to blag us into some like big haulage yard that we shouldn't have been allowed in. We basically all bribed the security guys. We all had to give them like 20 quid each, and yeah, we drifted this bloody haulage yard full of HGVs all fucking night. I don't know if the bloke got sacked in the end, but he made a bit of money until he did. Issue 100, and they're quite famous back then. Project 100, the main project car for Redline at the time. An R33 GTR. That was fucking proper mental spec. Dolep body kit, if I remember right. Fancy paint, fancy everything. Big AP brakes. It was huge spec. Fancy interior, carbon dash, fucking leather and Alcantara bucket seats. It had HKS 6-speed dog box. The only two people allowed to drive this car on the whole of Redline was me and the editor Renton, because we're the only two who were used to being able to drive dog boxes, because they're so easy to crunch the shit out of and wreck. But because we were used to driving really fast cars, we'd driven a fair few. So this had a triple plate clutch as well. So yeah, me and Renton was the only two allowed to drive this. Massive stereo in the boot. Blitz big single turbo, fully built engine, still a 2.6 but fully built. It was on Pectel T6 management as well, proper engine management for the time. Carbon boot, carbon bonnet, carbon all sorts. That's the engine on the dyno. Probably the first RB26 in the UK to ever actually be lapped on an engine dyno rather than on a rolling road. But yeah, dog box. I remember when first got the car back and Renton drove it, and he's like, oh, it's running like no boost. It must, because of being run in. And I was like, hang on. It can't run no boost, it would have to be running like wastegate pressure. And then I had to drive it to Japfest or something at Castle Coombe. So I had a look, and it wasn't really running no boost on purpose. It was because the fucking intercooler pipe had popped off. And so I plugged that back in, and it was fast as fuck then. So I enjoyed that drive. More of those weird quotes. Used to always take a piss out of Tim for looking like a tramp. And yeah. So every month it was like who Tim looks like, and it would be like fucking Baldrick and Kenny Everett and anyone with a big beard usually. It's another one of those bodywork babe features, one of the ones where they do it for free. This was, I'm mentioning this one because it's another one I did. And on this day, we also did a feature called, I think it's called Babes Doing Burnouts or something. And we got them to do burnouts in the Volvo police car, and which I drove up for this shoot, which is up in somewhere near Nottingham. And I drove it all the way up from Bath. And her and Emma, who I've mentioned before, were doing burnouts in the Volvo, and one of them, I can't remember who, blew the gearbox to pieces, properly to pieces. This girl used to own, I think she had a DC5 Integra Type R, funny enough. But anyway, yeah, blew the gearbox to shit. So I was stuck, and so I had to wait. I didn't get home till 4 o'clock in the morning. I had to wait for the recovery and all that stuff. And this bird was like, oh, just fuck that, leave the car here and get it recovered and come back with me and get the, tonight and get the train back the next day. But call it commitment or stupidity, but I was like, no, I can't leave the car, because who knows what happened to it. I can't leave the car. So I didn't. So I waited in the car, and I was stuck in a broken down car until like 4 o'clock in the morning, and then I had to drive back from Bath back to home, and it was like 5 in the morning by the time I got home. But yeah, I had two choices: dump the car, the broken car, or yeah, or get stuck waiting for the AA in a broken pretend police car all night. And thanks to my commitment for working for Redline, I chose option B. If I look back now, I probably regret that, but if I'd have got the sack, then I suppose I don't regret it. So, you know, it's one of them things. Donny show, fucking hell. These were ones a lot of people might remember. They were fucking mental. Not always in a good way. They were proper chavvy, but they were funny as fuck. The campsites used to represent some kind of bloody... We used to call it Soweto, because it was like a dodgy bloody South African slum. The campsites, it was proper fucking dodgy. But it was always fun. There's Emma again. She gets everywhere. That's Brooklyn, our sort of resident MC and DJ and everything for a lot of our shows back then. As us all being dickheads. Yeah. Yeah, look. Donny 2006 in numbers. Oh, fucking hell. So it's 52 cars in our convoy to Donny. It was mental. 64 beers drunk on Saturday night. One promo girl given some Greek loving. That's me, by the way. I can't remember what promo girl that is, but I've got a suspicion. One 5:30 AM prank wake-up call. 27 cheese toasters eaten. 2 times we lost the Volvo keys. 26 fat show car birds that should know better. 45 Redline staff t-shirts accidentally given out to random people. Honestly, that was one of the promo people, girls, gave out loads, 45 Redline t-shirts that said staff on it for free. They were meant to be only for us. So there was people going around pretending they worked for Redline. It was a fucking nightmare. 0, the number of cars in the Fast Cars track session. Fast Car magazine arranged a track session for this Donny 05, and not a single car was out there. It was just empty. And yeah, 2 sunburnt heads, and 157 times we were asked how we got the skyline up in the air. It was on this crazy sort of tilted platform. That's us sitting on the edge of the crazy tilted platform by the skyline at the end of the day. Sean asleep on the floor. Ah, this is a funny one, I remember now. See her? That is Emma's sister. And the story there goes, one of the other promo girls that we had, but one of the other girls, a quite famous one, I'm not going to name again. People would remember her if I said the name, but I'm not going to say who it is because it's rude. She turned up for maybe the first or second day of Donny. Absolutely fucking blindo still from the night before, and she had to keep buggering off and getting sick every 5 minutes. She was ruined, and we basically it was the first day actually, and we sent her home because she couldn't work. She was fucked. And that I was like, oh shit, we're down one bird. Like, and that Emma goes to me, oh, my sister works at Spearmint Rhino. Shall I give her a call and say she wants to come down? And I was like, fucking okay then. And yeah, 10 minutes later, she's like, yeah, she'll be down in a bit. And literally her sister, who none of us have ever met, fucking rocked out, put the Redline fucking garb on, and was flat out fucking full on pole dancing crazy shit all weekend. It was like good times. Never saw her again, but yeah, she was fucking dead handy. Just remembered something. See the one promo girl bit. That, I remember the story behind that, and it's just come to me. One of these girls, she turned up at the hotel when we was there. We was all in the bar getting pissed, and she turned up, come in the bar, said hello, was talking to me and whatever, and everyone there was like, fucking, wide-eyed because she is mint, and that I was the only one that knew her. And she did all that. She said, I'm going back to go in my room now to unpack and whatever. I'll probably come back in a bit. And we just stayed at the bar, Karen getting pissed. But it was mostly me and my friend Lee Manning, who's Renton, the editor's best mate. And I'm still friends with Lee now. But, yeah, then after a bit, I got a text from that girl. And it just said, room 111, come over, bring some wine. And I literally was like, whoa. And like showing the text to Lee, he literally instantly said to the barman and ordered it. He literally got it, said, here, I'll get it, go. And, you know, gave me a big bottle of fucking wine and 2 glasses and sent me on my way instantly. Well, I think he said he was that, and I explained it was that girl that was here a minute ago. And he was like, fucking go. And that was it. I was off, and that was the end of that story. Well, that's the end of the story I can talk about. Dan Joyce from Dirty Sanchez, who I'm still mates with now. That on the front cover is Mito, Matt Steele, who still does drifting now. He's got a YouTube channel. He won a fucking Lamborghini in one of those, you know, online car competition raffle things recently as well, a few months back. Lucky bastard. But yeah, this was his car back then in July 2006. Cool car, to be fair. There's Mito's S14, S15 front end, as you might tell. But even now, it looks like a cool, up-to-date car. Aged really well. Yeah, very cool car. Even then, he could always build nice-looking cars. He's kind of understands what drift cars sort of look like, generally. There's a bigger version of that picture from Donny from the last issue, actually. There you go. That's me on the end there, smiling a cheesy smile. So we've got from the left is Pasty, Dav, Renton in the middle, the editor, Tim next to me, and Sean on the floor. But there was more of us, as you can see by this, because there was a big team, and we did fuck all. Not only Tim would have the piss took out of him for lookalikes, Sean got it this time. Sean was weird. He basically only did the news section. He was very quiet. Nice lad, but very quiet, not really mental like everyone else. He was sort of into cars, but sometimes I used to think he used to fake it just for working for the mag. My S13, again, I painted it matte black because it was that god-awful fucking burgundy colour. And I, well, as was the thing you did back then, I rattle canned it matte black. It actually did look pretty cool, to be fair. And I've put my old wheels work equips, which these days are probably worth a fortune. 9x17 work equips. The Redline Volvo. Probably you want to look at the birds more than anything else. That'll be Emma again on the left. That one on her there is, oh, I can't remember her name. She ended up on that Discovery Channel mechanic program in Spain, where she pretended to be a mechanic. You probably know what I'm on about. I can't remember the name, it was shit. But she was that girl on it. There you go. This was funny. The World Donut Record. Yeah, it was a funny day. Funny day. Birds, cars, stuff. As you can tell, I'm more interested in the birds than the cars. But that's me. I like cars, but yeah, I knew what's important. We had Fifth Gear come along. Remember Tom Ford from Fifth Gear? He came along and joined in. He had a 350Z. And one of them, I can't remember who, ran his foot over and broke his foot. That page, usual stupid shit. That's Tricky, who one of the photographers, but also a lunatic. And this was, I wish there was more photos of this. At the donut day, we, for whatever reason, I think I just thought it'd be funny. Me and Pasty, well, that's him in the baseball cap on the right there, and one of my best mates even now, Paul Wilson, that's him there. decided to take some of the models to Tesco's to do some shopping, to buy some stuff, and in there, this outfits. So yeah, it was, yeah, we literally walked around Tesco's with these models in the middle of the day of all these old biddies doing their shopping, which was pretty funny. And then we all went down to the pub. Next issue is August now. I don't remember anything like this, but we'll have a look. GT Battle, which I mentioned in that earlier issue, but it became a thing rather than just the one-off thing like it was back then. But she was one of the Yokohama models back then, but well, I haven't seen her for years, but we was friends. Last time I saw her was 2011 or so 7 odd years after this. But yeah, she's in a lot of this magazine coming from about now as well. That one, she is lovely, to be fair. More of the weird shit on the back page. I remember this one quite well. Me and Pasty, literally, this is a legit picture taken by Chris Warbank, who's one of our photographers. Me and Pasty and Chris Warbank went out on a piss in Bath one night where the magazine was, like properly on it. And then when we got back to the house, which was a flat, it was about 4 stories up, we climbed out onto the roof off our tits with, well, kebabs and, as you can see, a bottle of vodka. Pasty's genuinely on the ledge there, like the edge of the building, about 4 or 5 stories up. And yeah, we passed out, we was asleep. And Warbank took this photo of us. But yeah, we was genuinely, yeah, 4 or 5 stories up. If he'd have fell off, we'd be dead. He'd been dead straight away, instant death. And yeah, we was fucking ruined. So yeah, good times. Next issue, and this is when me and Renton drove this fucking thing all the way up to Scotland to go drifting at Crail. Tramp drift at Crail up in Scotland. And bearing in mind, we were 500 miles away in Bath. Basically, one of the guys from Fast Car magazine, Trev, Big Trev, had a 24 valve Senator for sale. Cheap. It almost had no MOT. It was that 24 valve 3 litre Senator. I think I gave him 50 quid for it. We didn't tell him why. He kind of loved that car, and like, I promised I'd give it a good home. What he didn't know was we instantly got it and made some dodgy stencils, and me, Pasty and Bigsy painted all kinds of shit all over it. As you can see, it says Redline, Pasty was here, Whitey loves the cock, all kinds of shit. I love Tim's mum. Yeah, all sorts. And then proceeded to drive it past the Trev and the other guys at Fast Car who were outside one of the pubs that evening. Yeah, waving at them. But yeah, this was the journey. I'll show you, look. 1 o'clock, 0 miles, fill up with petrol and get some stuff from the supermarket. 1:36, we've done over 50 miles in 30 minutes on junction 6 of the M42. 2:30 PM, we've done 126 miles. The coolant warning light comes on, but we ignore it. 2:50, we've done 135 miles. We chase an Audi RS6 at 120 mile an hour down the M1 for 35 miles. You could get away with a lot more speeding back then, and you've had 4:20 PM, failed burnout at the Angel of the North. Literally, we thought it'd be a great picture, do a burnout outside next to the Angel of the North statue, but it didn't do it, and then someone called the police. 5:50 PM, I got pulled by an unmarked police car on the Scottish border. Got a producer, but that was all. 7:30 PM, We're on the Forth Road Bridge, and 8:21 p.m, 436 miles, we made it. But yeah, I got pulled by that unmarked police car. Honestly, it was following us, and I thought the badges, I could see something in the front grille, and I honestly thought it was just an AA badge. I remember going to rent it, and it's fine, it's just an AA badge, it's not a police car. And then the lights came on, and there's me grinning like a dickhead with my producer. Don't you remember producers? You don't get them anymore either, do you? But yeah, back then, producer, there was no such thing as ANPR back then. But yeah, doing skids at Crail. The funniest thing about Crail was, well, Scotland in general, is everyone's, the stereotype of Scottish people being pissheads is no stereotype, it's fucking legit. Literally, as soon as we turned up at Crail, it was like early in the morning, the next morning, and just this random bird come over and started posing on the car, and she was already pissed. And yeah, it just went on from there. That was an Angel of the North statue and the massively failed burnout. That's my quote. Look at the speedo. I don't know if you can see that, but that's just touching 140 on the, I think that's probably the A69, if I remember right. But yeah, that car, 24 valve Senators can fucking move when you want them to. Pissed up model bird, literally ended up in the potato field a number of times, filling up the, it was drinking, it was overheating a lot, so we tried to feed it iron brew and everything, but it didn't really help. Killed lots of tyres, lots of overheating, lots of smashing it to pieces. Lots of fun though, it was fucking brilliant. Yeah, here we go, what we spent. Car, 50 quid, spray paint, 15, petrol, 95, cheapy oil, 5, air, 20p, food, 30 quid, drink, 30 quid, camping free, show and drifting, 20 quid. It was funny as fuck, that was. And this is obviously only what you saw in the magazine. What you didn't see is what happened the first night. Basically, Crail was owned by a guy called Willie. He's died now, unfortunately, but he was a top bloke, but he was also a massive pisshead, like Scottish people all seem to be. The first night, we had a hotel booked, so we stayed in this hotel. Then Willie said, "Oh, come on, I'll come pick you up," and we're going to where did we go? I don't remember the name of the place. What's that? There's a posh place in Scotland where I think there's a posh uni, but more to the point, it's where the golf is. You probably know what I'm talking about. I might put a caption up when I remember. But the place where they play golf and stuff up in Scotland, and I think there's a big posh uni there and stuff. Anyway, Willie turned up in his brand new Range Rover at the hotel and said, "Come on, we're going out on a piss." And he took us to this place, and we was out on the town up there. I can drink, well, I can't drink anymore, I can't drink for shit anymore, but back then I could drink, and all Scottish people like to think they're the biggest drinkers in the world. So while Willie was drinking, I was drinking, and he was sort of, because I was drinking as much as he was then spiking me and giving me like quadruple fucking vodkas instead of doubles and stuff like that, and I was fucking blindo by the end of it. I'll show you something on the back page. Again, this shows how weird everything is. See that? Oh. That is 2, I think they're like pig's bollocks. But for some reason they were just in the urinal in a toilet in a bathroom of one of the pubs of where we was in Scotland down the piss. 2 massive pig bollocks. Yeah, and at about God knows what time in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning plus, we'd left the pubs and clubs and whatever where we was, and I was fucked. I could hardly stand up. I fell off the curb and I fell off the curb and hurt my foot badly. I was off my face though, so it hurt, but you know, I could live. And we got a taxi back to the hotel, and that was it. Next day I woke up, foot hurt, no big deal. Went to stand up, pretty much collapsed on the floor in fucking agony. And my foot was fucked. It was swollen up like a fucking balloon, and proper hurting. But because I was so dying to spend the day drifting and stuff, I thought, fuck it, I'm just gonna deal with it. And I spent the whole day in a hell of a lot of pain, drifting and just being dicks all day. And then that was a Sunday, and we went out it was a Saturday night we went out. I finally, when we got all the way back home, another 450 odd miles, on Monday I went to A&E to see what was wrong with my foot, and I'd broken it in 5 places. Yeah, I spent all weekend drifting and out in the piss and whatever with a foot broken in 5 places. I had to have it fucking plastered up, and I was on crutches in a fucking cast for the next God knows how many weeks. But yeah, broken foot in 5 places from being out in the piss with the now unfortunately deceased Willie from Crail. About hider bits, but again, more of the Bodywork Babes single that was free. And this is again just literally a girl I knew locally who I thought might be up for it, and yeah, she was. So she got her clothes off in the magazine. Fun times. This was the end for the Volvo. It was knackered. That was it, because I blew the gearbox up. Remember I mentioned that already? This was when it happened, about hide the boob. But that's Emma again, doing a burnout in the Volvo, and then moments later the gearbox exploded massively. I don't think that feature ever made it into the mag, or if it is, the mag I haven't got anymore. But yeah, that is when it happened. Tracks again. Louisa. That is, oh, what's her fucking name? Don't know. Can't remember her name now. But she will star in some story in a minute as well. It's quite funny. Scary. Dressed as a pimp. Oh, I bought a body kit for the S13. Chinese as fuck, but yeah, body kit. More trunk drifting. Again in, I took a Senator again. This is a Trunk Drift 1000 where we literally, a load of us, mostly all mates, a lot of people I'm still mates with now, drove all the way up to Crail for a Trunk Drift event, as in shit, cheapy crap drift cars, in some shit, cheapy crap drift cars from down south. Me in the middle. That's Dan Fudge down the green, who ended up working for Fast Forward magazine for years. That's in the white, there's Mike Gaynor, who competed in drifting and stuff I'm still mates with now. That's Jack Topless next to him, looking away from the camera. He lives in Canada now, still friends with him. That's Matt Townsend, still friends with him. He's in Austria now. And my friend Jeff Pike, who again I'm still friends with. But yeah, it's a long time ago, but I still know most of these people. But yeah, that's me in the baggy jeans and the LRG t-shirt and the fucking all sorts. But yeah, we went up in a dodgy 24 valve Senator. It was absolutely fucked. Me, Jen, the Yokohama model from previous issues. But yeah, it was funny. We drove up in this, I don't know if there's not even really a picture, but we drove up in this 24 valve Senator and it was fucked. It was knackered. It was overheating all the time. It was pretty much undrivable. It was, well, it's not undrivable, but it was undriftable. We was fucking hopeless in it. There's my mate Sid, who again I'm still friends with now, Sid Crowfoot. But yeah, it's literally, yeah, let's see the TD 1000 in numbers. What does it say? 1,086 miles travelled, 9 cars in a convoy, 15 once we got to Edinburgh, 27 times the convoy had to stop for repairs. 500 plus litres of water the senator pissed out. It was fucked. It was the water pump mostly, but it was knackered. 7 tyres tied to the roof of the BMW. That was Mike Gaynor's old school 535. 15 roundabouts drifted, probably by Mike, most of them. 3 exhausters broken. 3 Sierra crashes at Teesside, because that's what we did. We drove from where we was all the way to Teesside, then to Crail. We did drifting at Teesside first. The 3 crashes at Teesside in the Sierra was probably Dan Fudge, Stav's TD1000 diary. Right, I don't know how I can read this, but you can try, but I'll read it. Stav's TD1000 diary, Friday, 8:30 AM. Leave home with 8 spare wheels, a bag of clothes, and a fucking great tent. First stop, Northampton. 10:15 AM, Northampton. My lady for the weekend isn't ready. Even though I'm 50 minutes late. 30 minutes later, we're on our way north. 12. Meet with some of the other tramp drift guys at Tib Shelf on the M1. Get some funny looks setting up the camera next to the petrol pumps and running back to the car. M1. Burning smell. Oh, it was Mike ripping up the handbrake at 85 miles an hour in his Beamer just for fun. 4:30 PM, get to Teesside. Rain's real bad. But I realised there's a bar and a covered viewing area. So, honestly, didn't even do any drifting at Teesside personally. We just got pissed. 6 PM, bit pissed now, which makes the drifting seem extra cool. But I'm too drunk to go drifting. I remember talking to Niall Gunn there, who's from Northern Ireland. And I couldn't understand a word he was saying just because I was too drunk. He said stuff to me about 10 times in a row, but he's got a real strong accent, and I couldn't understand fuck all. I was too pissed. 11 PM, drifting's over, everyone's gone to bed. The tent looks like too much hard work, so we use the Senator's plush leather seats as our bed for the night. I wanted to go to a hotel, but they'd locked us in, to be honest. Oh, here we go. Saturday, 1 AM. After a couple hours sleeping in quotes, which you can probably guess what that means, we decided to get a hotel room instead. 2 minutes later, we realised we're locked in at the racetrack for the night. Bollocks. 8:30 AM. We wake up to the sound of roaring engines. It's the Eurodrift finals. We'd like to watch it all, but about 11 we have to set off to Scotland. 1 PM. Somehow we managed to lose everybody. Mike says he'll catch us up. Next thing we know, he comes flying past racing a Scooby STI with 7 tyres tied to the boot and the roof of the BMW. His BMW is cool as fuck, to be fair. There it is. This is all new to me. I haven't seen this for years. This is all bringing memories back. 2:15 PM. Mike, the BMW, nearly misses a slip road and comes close to crashing. Undeterred, he then drifts the next roundabout, still with all the tyres tied to his roof. 4 PM, stop at the last petrol station in England. The garage seems to sell nothing but flapjacks and gearbox oil. Lucky for us, that's exactly what we need. 4:30 PM, get to the Scottish border and car badly overheats. Think it might be game over, but make some repairs and get back on track. 6 PM, meet up with the Scottish lot and head to Crail. 8 PM, I reckon the weather's going to be good. The stupidest thing I've ever said, as Crail is in real bad, thick fog. I remember that vividly. 8:30 PM, set up the tent in the wind and fog, break out the campfires and get pissed. Sunday, 12:30 AM, people start heading to bed, so do we. After a couple of hours sleeping, again, sleep in quotes, make your own mind at what that means. We get out of the tent and go and sleep in the car. Some mad bastards are still partying in the rain until 4 AM. 8:30 AM, we wake up, look out the window and it's raining hard, and the tent is destroyed. 10, 11, it's just rain. 11 AM, we give up, the rain's never going to stop, so let's go for it. Lack of practice is showing us I'm shit. I'm having fun, but I'm shit. Jen has a go and puts the car backwards into the tyre wall. 12, what a surprise, we didn't even qualify. 3 o'clock, it's all over, time to go home, stuff a convoy, we all just want to go back to sleep. 11 p.m, I'm home, I'm knackered, and I'm going to bed. It's Mike with a knife to my head, messing about while we're sitting around this fucking campfire at Crail. It was so cold. Scotland is not somewhere you want to camp. Carla Brown, one of the models, and is one of the cleverest people I've ever met, no joke. But I'll explain the story behind that when it comes to it. But yeah, honestly, I was very surprised. Here we go, 10 of the best 5. And this will be the story about Carla Brown. That's Emma as well, by the way, who I've talked about many, many times. But yeah, 10 of the best. We used to always make a big deal of this event. It was massive. It's kind of, people have forgotten it even exists these days, but it still happens. Basically the fastest cars in the UK. Battle out, handling course, top speed, quarter mile. Yeah, well, quick story. Carla Brown was, and still is, she's, I think if you look her up now, you'll still find her doing modelling. Was a quite well-known model back then. And everybody loved her. She was, I mean, she's fit as fuck. Well, Carla, I've never met her before this day, and I actually picked her up, this 10 of the best up in York, and she was at uni in Warwick, which is kind of on the way, not far from where I live. So I picked her up, never met her in my life. And I thought, oh, I meant, you know, another fucking model to try and crack onto, see if I can get anywhere. And, you know, drove her up to the show, well, to the hotel originally, just me and her. And she was saying we got on really well, she's a real nice girl. And she had my number, and we exchanged numbers and went to our hotel rooms. And then after about half an hour or so, she basically texted me and said, oh, I'm in room blah blah blah, come over. And I was like, oh, fucking game on. And I went over there, and she's like, are you gonna take me out for dinner then? I was like, alright, fuck it. So off we go, and I thought, fucking hell, I'm in there now, this is gonna be like best one yet. But no, she is the most intelligent person I have fucking probably ever spoke to. Not like fake intelligent, she's legit very, very clever. And yeah, within about an hour or so at the restaurant, yeah, we got on great, but I thought there's no way I'm gonna be able to fucking you know, just blag my way into her knickers like I did with quite a few others. I literally, right from the beginning, was like, no chance. So yeah, but she's hot. She's, you know, I really fucking like her as a person, but yeah, she was not who I thought she would be. So I massively failed there. I did actually fuck off with somebody else instead later that night, but that's besides the point. But yeah, Carla Brown, very, very clever, very lovely person, but mega clever, not you'd imagine her to be at all. Carla, I can't show you the rest because she's got her tits out. This was the same event where we took the black Senator that I've shown you previously. And yeah, it was just full of pissheads. I mean, by about 12:30, the amount of people who was just asleep unconscious was fucking unreal. Back in the day when the D1 guys come over from Japan and did an exhibition round at Silverstone, that was, honestly, to watch that back then was fucking mind-blowing, because it was better than anything we'd ever seen over here by far. So yeah, it was nuts. This is a Greek magazine, Burnout, who used to basically buy all our features off us and just translate them into Greek and just reuse them. And yeah, Emma was, her feature was in Burnout in Greece as well. I'm sure she never realised, but yeah, like the Cyber Evo and nearly all the feature cars, like even Ultimate Scottish Street Car Show was in a Greek magazine in 2006. But Greek, yeah, there's loads of, I did loads of features that ended up in these magazines. They never mentioned any of us because it was kind of made out it was their own stuff, but it wasn't. It was mostly Redline features that was reworded into Greek. But yeah, that is it for the year 2006. I will do the next year and in the next video, so watch out.